Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Night Night Naturalist. Tonight we're going to read this beautiful book called Once There Was a Tree by Natalia Romonova. I love the pictures in this book. Once there was a tree. It had grown for many years and now it was growing old. Dark clouds swept across the sky, rain fell, thunder roared, and a lightning bolt split the tree in two. You ever seen a tree that's been hit by lightning? It's pretty impressive. A woodsman came upon the broken tree and sawed it down so that only a stump remained. Soon a bark beetle with long feelers settled in. The beetle loved the stump and laid her eggs under its bark. So there's the woodsman, and there's the bark beetle. Her eggs hatched and tiny maggots emerged. All summer long they gnawed tunnels in the bark. Winter came and they slept. When they awoke in the spring with long feelers of their own, it was time to fly away. We got some other beetles down here, some lovely mushrooms. You ever walked in the woods and seen trees that have the bark has fallen off and you could see those tunnels underneath? We have a lot of them here at Severson Dells. But the tree stump was not deserted for long. With all the entrances and exits the maggots had made, here was the perfect place for ants to live. One ant brought a leaf, another a twig, and another a grain of sand. They cleared out the tunnels and made the stump their home. So there's all the ants. And what else do we see? We see some mushrooms in here too. A bear approached the tree stump, sniffed at it, and sharpened her claws on the bark. The stump was hers like everything else around. Even the ants in the stump were hers, and no other bear would dare disturb them. A titmouse flew down and landed on the stump. She spotted an ant dragging a caterpillar and pecked at it. Now the caterpillar was hers. The ants were hers too, and so was the tree stump. No other birds would come near. Now, if you like birds and watch birds around your home, you might know that we have titmice here too, but our titmice look different. They're a different kind of titmouse. Ours are called tufted titmice, and they don't have yellow like this. They're all gray and have pointy heads. One rainy day, a frog found shelter in a hole in the tree stump. Time and weather had dug these holes, which would protect others who also passed by. So there's our little frog. The warm sun dried the tree stump, and soon a new occupant moved in, an earwig. Liking nothing better than the shade, he crept under the bark to sleep. There's the earwig up there. We have earwigs here. We don't tend to like earwigs very much. They're kind of scary looking and they look like they could pinch us. And they can be in large numbers, which can be really creepy sometimes if you pull off a piece of bark or the siding of your house and it's hundreds of earwigs in there. But like everything, they have a purpose. A man was walking in the woods and saw the tree stump. He sat down on it to rest, and now the tree stump was his. The man thought he owned the forest and the earth, so why not the tree stump? You ever rested on a tree stump or a log when you've been for a walk in the woods? But who really owns the tree stump? The bark beetle that gnaws the tunnels inside it? The ants that travel down through the tunnels? The earwig that sleeps under its bark? Or the bear who uses it to sharpen her claws? Does it belong to the titmouse that flies down upon it? The frog that finds shelter in one of its holes? Or the man who believes he owns the forest? Ooh, those are all really good questions. Maybe the tree stump belongs to all, the beetle and the ants, the bear and the titmouse, the frog, the earwig, and even the man. All must live together. Meanwhile, the tree stump gets older and older. The sun warms it, the rain cools it, and soon it begins to rot. Night comes, and the forest is cast in moonlight. What remains of the tree stump glows in the dark. If you come out here on a night hike sometime, you might be able to see stuff glowing in the dark here too, like fireflies or firefly larvae that are called glowworms. And sometimes you even find foxfire, which is a special fungus that glows in the dark. Now the tree stump is gone. A new tree has grown in its place. A titmouse is perched in its branches. It is her tree. An ant crawls up high on her tree. A bear lumbers by and sharpens his claws on the bark. A man lies down to rest in its shade. The tree belongs to all because it grows from the earth that is home for all. And that is the end of our story. When you come out to visit us at Severson Dells, you'll get a chance to see all these different things in our woods here too. And do they belong to us? Do they belong to you? Do they belong to the beetles or the ants or the coyotes or the raccoons or the squirrels? Maybe it belongs to everybody, just like the tree in this story here. Something to think about. I hope you enjoyed our story and that you have a good night, and will join us for another story later on. Bye-bye.